two crypto miners that forgot to put a microphone on a camera, so we had to do a double take. I'm with Nathan here, Iowa Hawkeye Mining here. We're in Iowa today, undisclosed location. Bitmain sent us a couple miners, the L9s. We're gonna get these up and running. We're gonna see his operation and what he does. Great to have him hosting these for us currently. And we'll break all the stuff down from zero to hero, kind of what we can expect, how we see Bitcoin, how we see Litecoin, all the other ASIC miners, and just the mining industry in general. We'll probably sit down and do a talk as well, and we'll clip it all in here. That's what we got for you. Nathan, any words?
No. Let's get these things hashing.
Let's get these things hashing. Hey, it's Luke. We're doing a video where I go to Iowa Mining in Iowa, and we just kind of go through his facility, and I place a few miners there. Thank you to Bitmain for sending me an L9. This was early in February. That's when we're walking around there getting things going. I didn't want to put the video out too soon. I wanted to get kind of fully squared away so I can be as transparent with you guys as possible. Then in the clips where we recorded in kind of a podcast live call, that was 2 months after February, so end of April-ish, and I've already been running with Iowa for that long. And now today, obviously, this is going to be released sometime in the next week or so. It's already end of July. So with that being said, I've ran them all the way through July, sold off, and to make way for another miner that I know is coming out, and I think a lot of you guys have seen it. The prices are kind of similar. It's kind of getting interesting up in here with all the script developers. Regardless, the L9 has been amazing. I haven't had any problems with them. Thankfully, I have heard of people who have, although I have not. Iowa Mining, great job. I've had like 0 to none downtime. Most of the downtime I haven't even noticed before my stuff is online, and it really isn't much. We'll cover it in there. There was like one instance where the power went out, but within hours it was already back online. But yeah, Nathan's a great guy from Iowa, has kind of a smaller 1 megawatt facility expanding to 2 megawatts. I do recommend him. So his contact will be kind of in the end there. So feel free to check it out as well as the description. All right, let's get into this.
Yeah, so we blocked the bottom.
So what he's about to explain here is he has this half, the bottom half that is, boarded off. He'll obviously explain it. But this half is all boarded off down below. These right here are filters for intake. So the airflow flows in this way. Thought I had my brush out. And it exhausts on this side. So the miners will sit on this wall going that way, and they will exhaust out this way. So all the intake air comes out here. And they have filters. The awning, of course, goes out further. But this is your classic setup. You need to have air flowing in, and then obviously the hot air and other air circulating to exhaust out. Now, he's in the winter, so they boarded up this. I'll let him get into it.
Because in the winter, you don't want as much air coming in because it's going to be 10 degrees out or 0 some days. So we block the bottom just so not as much air coming in. And that was just my partner's idea. It was simple and easy. Put it up in 20 minutes. We can take it down in 5 minutes. It's, when it gets 40, 50, 60 on a daily basis, then we'll take it off because they need as much air as you can get. But yeah, it was simple and easy. Just to cut down on all the cold air coming in. We want the heat up a little bit on the inside. We don't want 0 degrees every day, all day. So yeah, that was an easy fix. And then so this location was perfect because a lot of the stuff was already here. You need so much power, but when it comes to power, you have to run heavy wire from the street to wherever you're doing it at. You have to buy switch panels. You have to run wire from the switch panel to wherever you're mining. So when I looked at this location, a lot of it was already here. So the transformer was already here, and it's 1.5 megawatts, 1500 kVA. And then back here is the switch panel. Now this is where we saved a ton of money because this cabinet's like 200 grand. Oh, yeah. You're good. We're good. So this cabinet's like 200 grand. So it was already here. It had the breakers we needed. It had everything set up, and the building doesn't use any power because now it's just a warehouse. So all we had to do was tap into it. And so we had to, have the wire ran to the container. We had to hook up everything beyond this point. We had to do ourselves, but that just saved a big cost before we even put a container down. And so that's the main reason we chose this location.
No, that's one of the big things with like just trying to set up an operation for mining is obviously if you can have your stuff that's already set up and square and ready to go, your operational cost is already hands down really competitive to where you can get going and start. Oftentimes you're having to deal with competing against these huge corporations that are mining, and sometimes it's just not feasible unless you're doing it all yourself. But if you're doing hosting, like like Nathan is, this gives you such a great start right off the bat. And obviously, like, he's grown, like, from seeing your videos right away to the amount of machines that they have in there now. You can see how having all of this stuff kind of already groundbreaking there and ready just transfers into just having the ability to host quick, fast, and reliable stuff without having to worry about failure because it's already been tested and proven from the previous business operations before. It's great work.
And it's something else that we had to think about because it's just me and a partner. We didn't have a big investors behind us with blank paychecks. It was us just wanting to do it ourselves. So we're going to spend our own money. So obviously we don't want to spend more than we have to. And so that's why this was a great first location. Now the second location is going to be bigger. We're going to be able to expand because, we tested it and it works. And so we're going to do a little bit bigger next time so we don't have to have different locations all over the place here in town. But, it was a great test and it worked, and we can replicate this, which is the important part.
We're going to go through my experience with him, and then we're going to kind of talk about what the future is for Iowa mining, and then mining in general, right? We're kind of in this, I would say, maybe you can respond to this, like a lull period of mining, would you say?
I would agree. It's been a rough month or two now. So, yep.
Yeah, it's nuts. I know I've been seeing a lot of people starting to like offload their miners, sell their miners. And how does that like impact your business as like a hoster? Because I'm sure you dealing with selling stuff as well, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So it kind of depends on the hosting company. So what my thought process is, if my clients are happy, that's all that matters, because if they're happy, they might have other machines with me. They might want to turn some off, but not the others.
Yeah.
Or they're just, hey, let's just hold off for a little bit. And then in a couple months, if it picks up, or I'll buy a different machine in a month or two and I'll just send it to you then. So I am personally going tonight to shut off some Castle miners. That's not Litecoin. It's not Bitcoin. They're chasing the altcoins, and it just didn't work out. But, my thought process is, if they're happy, then that's fine. I'm not losing anything by turning them off. I'm not gaining as much, but I'm not losing anything. So why?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally different perspective as like a hosting service provider versus the actual miner. But you do mine yourself, correct?
I do. I have 10 Bitcoin miners, and then I have one for each of my kids actually mining. And so
super cool.
Yeah. So
what models?
K Pros. So I bought 10 K Pros a little over a year ago. My son bought one because I gave him a J Pro. He built up enough, bought a K Pro for himself.
Those are S19s, or do they have models for just 21s? Yeah. Okay.
S19 K Pros. I have them. Yeah, I have them actually in my backyard in my shed. So then me and my partner have a couple at the container, but nothing too crazy, because that's mostly just for hosting people.
Right.
So.
No, it makes sense. Yeah, keep the business as the business kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. So my experience with him is, I literally called him up one day. Actually, I sent him a message on Twitter. And for those of you who know kind of my situation is, I develop in like the script and, Litecoin, Bellscoin, Dogecoin ecosystem. And we're contemplating kind of growing into this, bigger project of more so like a tokenized aspect of doing miners. So obviously you got to test out some different facilities, and we sent a few miners to you, but we actually drove them there because I don't live too far away, thankfully.
Yep.
not that we're doxing anybody, but his name is Iowa, so you can basically assume there. And I guess
Yep.
I'm wearing a big Twin Cities hat, so
Yep.
gosh,
Yep.
here we are.
Yep.
But yeah, a nice easy drive. I actually drove to Nebraska
Yep.
a few
Drove
times.
drove about 30 minutes past and had to come
30
back.
minutes
Yep.
fast. But aside from that, everything went good. It's kind of interesting because like you're so used to meeting people in crypto when you go to like the big events to where it's like my wife, like full honesty, I had my wife and my newborn with,
Mhm.
and my wife was like, "Man, this seems like so weird. Like we're just gonna meet a random guy at like a facility or a shed.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what you're doing?" And
Yeah.
the reality is like some people think that that's like scary. Obviously,
Yeah.
you do allow for like shipping to you.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
you don't have to go and drive to do these things. I did this because I wanted to see how the business sort of operated. I wanted to get like a firsthand, shake his hand, and go from there.
Yep.
And it turned out really great.
Yeah.
Nice and easy person to talk to. So thank you for that. I felt comfortable. My wife felt comfortable, and
Yep.
the facility is good. Got to go over it, and you're going to see obviously the video, depending if the video is playing now, before or after this, however this insert gets edited. You'll kind of see the facility, and you guys are trying to
Yep.
expand, right?
Yeah.
So
So
what's the process on that?
yeah, so our kind of future is, we're a little over half filled right now. Even with me shutting off some tonight, we're still over half filled. I have some prospects that are going to be sending quite a bit here shortly, and so that's really good for us. And so once this container's filled, and we're 1.2 megawatts, kind of is the number,
Mhm.
and once that's filled, we need a second spot. So we can't expand where we're at. Where we're at was a great starting because we made some not made mistakes, but we were able to learn as we did. It was a great start, but we couldn't go any bigger. And so we've actually had a couple of conversations with people. We actually got okayed for one spot that we don't really like, but it would work for a second spot. And so when we expand, we want to go at least 2 megawatts at this next spot, so 2 containers worth. And so we're just it's just me and a partner. We don't have outside money. We don't have a big bankroll to use. So we're just making the smart move and the slow move and slowly building instead of, you know, getting a bunch into debt, buying a bunch of stuff, and then
Yes.
crap, I have all this money to pay back. How am I going to do that? I have no clients yet. So we're just
Yes.
slowly making the process. So
No, that's huge. That's one thing that, I would say that I'm definitely younger in terms of like the business side, and I run a few other businesses. And
yep.
one thing that is tough is if you end up getting like outside money to do these things,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you're really reliant on their word, what they say goes. And if, things aren't going right, all of a sudden the plug could get pulled right away. Whereas
Yeah.
like what you guys are doing is great because you're able to scale at your own pace.
Yep.
You're able to be basically your own bosses. Nobody tells you what to do, and you guys
Yep.
know what's best for your business. So when I'm looking for people that I want to host with, and that if I will have other assets that I want to host with those people. I like, in all honesty, this is primarily why like I haven't taken any of my businesses into like the VC world, is
Mm-hmm.
because there's just that extra pressure and that extra kind of like I love to keep it at pace, keep it doing those things, and then you can feel the market. Like right now we're in a lull spot, so it's like you're able to gauge, see what worked, see what didn't work, and then go from there without other people down your back asking for their paycheck, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So no,
And
that's huge.
yeah, and like so, like there's two things. Like for the lull right now, let's say you built out and were huge 3 months ago when everything was going crazy, but now the lull starts and you still have to build. It's a tough time to build. So then now you have all this debt that you from all this outside money, and now you can't really build very quickly. So now you're in that hole so you're banking on starting this process, and then 6 months or a year from now you're going to be doing great. I don't know what 6 or 10 months down the road is going to be doing. So that's one thing. And the second thing is, especially for hosting, if you have this big facility and you line up a bunch of clients really fast, you don't talk to them all. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to mess something up or get something confused, and you don't build that personal relationship with them to where you know me, you know my number,
Right.
you have my number. We've talked. I talked to 6 different clients today, because I slowly built, and they know me. They talk to me about different stuff, and so if I had just had 100 clients show up tomorrow, I don't know those guys. They're just a name on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And you don't build that trust that you
Right.
do when you slowly build.
For sure. I think That's kind of like, I don't know, maybe I'm gonna categorize that into like a Midwest thing, but
Yeah.
I love to like just, small town vibe sometimes. I
Mhm.
like to just know where my stuff is, know that who the person is that I'm talking to, and not that I have to like email a company and then hope that chat support actually relays me to an actual
Yep.
person.
Yep.
I have gone that way in the past, and like it's worked at scale a little bit, but I just like the ability to be able to like you said, I can call you, I can talk to you, and
Mhm.
obviously like you're going to be busy here and there, but like I will get a response, and I'm getting a response from the actual person overseeing the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like that's huge,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And I'm sure like obviously as you guys get bigger, you might expand into a few different things, but
Yep.
for the most part, like the Midwesterner vibe that I get is just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to be nice, and it doesn't matter who you are or what you want to run. Like, there's some companies and some like hosting facilities out there that, they won't do Caspa, they won't do like
Yep.
Kadena, they
Yep.
won't do like
Yep.
Litecoin, or they're just Bitcoin only, or they're whatever only.
Yep.
Sure, a lot of them now, obviously, they'll take anything because in a lull period, they want people running, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
For that point, but yeah,
And I
what's
was
the
I
yeah,
was
go
gonna
ahead.
say too. You were saying about once we get bigger, like we don't want to get
Yeah.
that big. We want to be. It's me and my business partner. My dad will help out when we need to,
Mhm.
but we don't want to hire anyone on. We don't want to have to hire someone, and then I have to trust that they're doing the right thing when they're troubleshooting an ASIC or changing an account or do
Yeah.
whatever. If I make a mistake, it's on me. That's fine. My
Mhm.
business partner makes a mistake, it's on him.
Yep.
We can live with that. But if we start hiring people around, we don't want to get that big. We don't want to get bigger than 5 megawatts because then
Yep.
we have to hire someone. So
Yeah, no,
that's the end game.
yeah, you heard it here first. It's first come, first serve. So you're gonna have to
Yep.
compete with me to get my miners there. So
Yep.
just so you know. But no, I've no problems actually. Like I dropped them off, and within as soon as I gave them the pool information, they were up
Mhm.
within, I would say, not even a couple hours after that, which
Yep.
was unexpected, and I didn't expect that. So I appreciate that.
Yep.
And I've been running them for now 2 months. It's been, or no,
Yeah.
actually, it's been almost three.
Yeah.
No,
Was it?
is it three?
It was close to January, wasn't it?
It was close to February,
Okay,
actually.
close to
That's
February.
what it was.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we're coming up on
2 full
we're over
months.
2 months, 2 full months,
Hmm.
and I've been running script miners. I'm a script developer. It's just kind of where my heart is. I do stack Bitcoin, of
Hmm.
course. I mean, I run the script miners. That's just where I'm at. I feel like if I'm developing in that industry, it wouldn't be right if I wasn't invested in that industry somehow.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
that's where I'm at with it. But no, it was I would say one of the most easiest setup processes that you can have, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And your experience could be different from mine. Like I drove, sure, but like you take in mail-ins, and he even saves the boxes in case you need to ship them out.
Yep. And to put
Right?
your
I
name on
don't.
it and everything. Yep.
You still have a stack of boxes in that
Yep.
place you're talking about?
Yeah. Me and my dad have a huge storage unit. It's 60 feet and 20
Yeah.
feet tall. It's not completely loaded with boxes because he's got like his boat in there and we got some other stuff. But one whole wall is boxes. And so
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty funny. But no, I was also going to say. So you were talking about getting your miner turned on in 2 hours. My goal, and I've held it every single time. So I have clients who just send me miners. I'll wake up and I have a tracking number that hey, this is on the way, and I didn't even know about it. They just
Oh,
here's the
yeah.
tracking, it's coming. And so when a miner shows up, I will have it deployed that day, and I've held to it ever since I started. All 180 miners have been deployed the day they showed up. So, um, we haven't soccer season starts and the daughter's dance classes start, so we'll see what happens here. But
Mhm.
I've been there at 11 o'clock at night deploying an ASIC because I was busy earlier. So that's what I promised my clients. So
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So obviously from the Midwest, you're gonna get some weird weather patterns.
Mhm.
So for like people that might be wondering, like, what do you do in those situations where like you have, a blizzard because you had
Yep,
one, I think
yep,
recently, and then
yep,
I had freezing ice here, and unfortunately, I actually had some of my stuff get damaged that I
yep,
host here.
yep,
So that was not fun. I came back from mining disrupt to a couple a good portion of investment damaged, which was
yeah,
really unfortunate. But like,
yeah.
what are you guys doing? Like, what is your technology from the build that I know? And you guys will see it in the videos kind of as we go through. They have
Yep.
a few different things, but I'll let you explain it kind of.
Yeah, so we've had 3 blizzards where we've actually been under a blizzard warning. Now, um, The first two, no issues. It was windy and a little bit of snow, no problems. The third one, there was power out across the city. It wasn't just us.
Okay.
And so the power flickered and the electrical system. My business partner is an electrician. He owns his own electrical company. So, he set it all up. And so,
Good person to have as your
correct,
partner.
correct. I'm the geek that does all the ASIC stuff. He's the electrical guy. But so everything did what it was supposed to. It shut off. Because the power flickered, it shut itself off at the main breaker. And he went out there, and it was like 7:30 in the morning. He went out there. He's like, everything looks good. Everything's checking out. I can turn it back on. I'm like, the storm just started. The blizzard started and wasn't going to end till mid-afternoon. So like, why turn it back on if this is going to happen again? So we stayed off. And so that's what ended up happening. We shut off. Later that night, we went back, checked everything, turned everything on, no problems. And what we did was, that wasn't the client's fault. It wasn't technically our fault. It was just weather. And we actually credited back all of our clients 1 day's worth.
Yeah, no, I saw that. That was recently.
Yes,
right?
that was
literally a couple
2
days
weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
Yep.
2 weeks ago. Okay,
I
well,
put the
saw
credit in. Yeah, I put the credit in before the end of the month.
Yeah, smart.
But I did it on. I did it. The blizzard was actually 2 weeks ago. So
Got you. Yeah, so I mean, and to be fairly honest, like, I mean, some of you guys might be watching your miners like every day. I had no idea. I just got like I see the credit come in, and then I reread back in the emails. I see there was a blizzard, and I checked and was like, oh, they're only off for like a couple of days. Not even.
no,
Not
no,
even,
no, no,
honestly.
no.
It was
12
like
hours.
12 hours.
It was
Yeah.
12 hours. Yeah,
Yep.
we went off like 7:30. I got everything back on at 7:30, 8 o'clock. So
Yes.
Yep.
Big correction. So
Yep.
forgive me for saying a couple of days. I didn't
Yep.
read between the
Yeah.
lines.
No, it wasn't that
It
bad.
wasn't very long. Like I didn't notice it. Like it was like, oh, okay, like little bump. I got the credit. Whatever.
And to go along with that, you for example, you've been on here for 2 months. You haven't been off at all in that 2 months, and
Correct.
we were going on all of 3 or 4 months straight. No nonstop. We don't have to curtail. We don't have to do anything weird. Yes, a miner here and there could restart or could do something, but as a facility, the whole thing was on for 3 or 4 straight months until this blizzard 2 weeks ago.
No, that's huge. Like I know, like down south they have to do, and I mean, not
Yep.
down south, but in every place, like they'll do a lot of load shedding, and
Yep.
that was one of the things that I ran into that I really like. I didn't like. I understood it,
Yep.
but it happened really frequently in one
Yep.
of the other. I won't say who because like
Yeah, don't say it. Yep.
I'm not trying to
Yep.
throw any shade or anything, but there was actually like a period of time where every week I'd have like 2, 3, maybe even 6 hours of downtime, like every week
Yep.
from just load shedding.
Yep.
And it was quite frustrating. I'm sure, like, yes, I get credited, but it was during those times where like I really wanted to stack
Yep.
coins,
Yep.
and it was just kind of unfortunate.
So the reason a hosting company would do that is they'll get a lower rate. Let's for random numbers, they're charged 10 cents. If they curtail, they call it curtailment, so many hours or so much, they might get 9 cents or 8 cents. They'll get a lower number, and they do that so obviously to save money. But from a hosting standpoint, I have to tell you that you're going to automatically be off for X amount of hours a month. And we don't know when, but it's just going to happen at some point. A, that's not good for your equipment, and B, that's not also fair. You want to be up and running, and so that's why they do it. I don't have to. I don't want to. If we expand, we're not gonna have to at our other locations we're looking at. And also, I actually ran numbers on your L9, your 16 gigahash. If you're off for 24 hours, even if you're getting charged 2 cents less than what I'm charging, you're actually breaking even if you're curtailed for 1 day. So in the end, you end up making the same. Yeah, it's not that much to be curtailed and be equal, even though you're paying more somewhere else.
Wow, I'm glad you did that. Like that math there.
Yep.
There it is, and that's the name of the game. Sometimes that's why, again, like I'm very grateful that like I contacted you, because like I would say the smaller miner hosting experience has been. Like, I'm not trying to sound all wishy-washy and like promoting you or anything like hardcore, but it's been like an actual authentic good experience to date. I'm sure people want to know too, what rate are you charging your clients?
Yep.
And at what rate, like, do you do at scale? Do you do discounts? How does that work from you?
So I charge 10 cents a kilowatt hour, and I don't have an at scale price. And the reason is because if I only have so much spot.
Right.
space left, and so I have 150 ASICs more or less and then I'm filled, and that's not filled with a container. That's filled with power. So that I'll run out of
Mm,
power before I run out of
okay.
container space, and so when we expand, we're going to expand here locally to where we can actually get to it in 10, 15 minutes and work on it. But also, we should be able to lower our rate too. And so that's what we're looking at. That's the end game. We want to be at 10 cents. I am higher than everyone else. No, I'm not.
Mm.
I'm not dogging that at all. But I want to be more competitive. If I was more competitive in pricing, I would have been filled,
Oh,
much
yeah.
faster, and it wouldn't have been a
Yeah.
problem. Yeah, but it's also, it's got to be worth our time. But then I'm trying to make up for it with all my
Mhm.
clients know me. They have my number. We talk all the time, and there is other benefits than just getting the lower rate. So
Yes, for sure. I mean, one of the major benefits on my end was like I'm somewhat close. Like
yeah,
I'm
yep,
within driving distance, within a day there and back, right?
yep,
So that's a big win for me is like I like to know where my hardware is. And an experience that I had actually was I have GPU rigs that are hosted at a facility for, AI compute and they get AI workloads.
yep,
And it's really far away.
yep,
And for a period of time, about a month, I had no contact, no like nothing that was going on. I wasn't seeing none of the jobs were coming online that I was supposed to be getting credit for. And it was like terrible. Like I wanted to go and I wanted to drive and pick them up, but I
yep.
actually had no idea where they were. And then I realized I'm like, why would I send stuff
Thousands of dollars.
anywhere, thousands of dollars of stuff if
Yep,
I don't know where it is?
yep,
Like it's the same thing of like funny enough is like all those cloud mining stuff that we see where people are like
yep.
sending it off to, the countries in Africa. I'm
Oh
sure
yeah,
there's like actual mining, but like people be like, oh my gosh, I can get 4 cents
yep,
if I send it over to Africa. And next thing
yep.
you know, they're
You're not
just
getting it back.
taking your money and they're maybe paying you a little Bitcoin, but you're not getting your stuff back.
You're not getting it back, and
No,
yeah, is it
it's
going to
so
work for the
important.
year like you expect? It, that's the tough part, and yeah, so yeah, when it comes to pricing, you kind of get what you pay for.
Right.
I try to make that worth it. I try to make up the difference. There's
Mhm.
other good hosting companies out there, and so I won't. There's plenty of good options, but there's also plenty of bad options too.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, yeah.
I talk with quite a few different hosting companies that are great that we share ideas, share help. Hey, we had this issue. Keep this in mind for this miner or whatnot. But there's also plenty of bad ones out there that I get miners from every now and then. Because
Yes.
their clients want to leave.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. So
Yeah. Do you guys like do some sort of like maintenance and repair to
yep.
ASICs at all? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So this past weekend, actually, we did kind of a spring cleanup. So we actually replaced our filter wall. I cleaned out every single ASIC. We cleaned up around the place because
Mhm.
when you're sucking in that much air for 180 ASICs, it gets dirty. So we
Yep.
cleaned everything up. We redid the filter wall. We made it so when we go to change filters later, it'd be good. We've actually added some more walls to protect from dust and dirt getting in, and also
Yep.
for sound and also to make it look more hidden from the street.
Yeah.
More. So we've done quite a bit, just little stuff that we don't have to turn off for.
Yeah. I have to send you. I was at Mining Disrupt, and there was this fan company that had some really nice fans that were nice and quiet for your ASICs. It was like
Yep.
Right One Fan. My
Okay.
last name, Right One Fan. I'm
Okay.
not affiliated with them.
Okay.
It's a Chinese brand.
Mhm.
But no, I'll send you them just their thing to look into.
Yep.
Maybe you could pitch it to some of your clients or something like that. But from the demonstration that I saw, or I didn't really see a demonstration, I saw the board and
Yep.
then I looked up a video and it was actually like it was pretty significant.
Yep.
And if you're trying to work with decibels and trying to
Yep.
get things down, it seemed to be somewhat decent. But
Yeah.
yeah.
At my location, sound, there. I'm not gonna get in trouble for any sound. I'm in an industrial area.
Mhm.
There's nothing on the books. Like I'm not worried from a legal standpoint or having to shut down or anything like that. But it's just being nice to
Yeah,
where
courtesy, right?
courtesy. Yeah, there's businesses next to us. But I'm right next to a railroad track, which you know very well, and other stuff. So
Yeah, the
I'm
railroad track.
yeah, I'm not too worried about it, but it's doing the right thing, and we had so many other positives for putting up a wall that it's like, okay, that's just another benefit for us
Yeah.
doing it. So
And you designed you and your
yep,
partner designed the entire container, right?
Yeah.
How did that process work? Like, what did you guys do? What were the hurdles? What were the things
Yeah.
that
So
got you to where you are?
we turned on July of 2024, but we had been talking since April of 2023, and I'd been
Okay.
daydreaming about it since before then. And
Yes.
so, I looked what everyone else is doing. I looked what other
Mhm.
big boys are doing for their containers. I looked what all the pre-built containers look like. I was just seeing what's good, what's bad. Okay, that looks, that's going to work in our environment, or it's not. And so I took what the people are already doing it, and then just did some tweaks to make it work for us. And so why reinvent the wheel? If someone's already doing
Right.
it and they're doing it at scale, there's a reason why they're doing it that way. So yeah, I kind of designed it. My business partner is very handy as an electrician, and so he can do welding, he can do all that kind of stuff. So I kind of gave him design. He made some tweaks here. It was either a little bit better or a little bit cheaper, and he just did it. Did it his way, and I just helped out where I could because I'm not as handy. So
Yeah, no, that's all right.
yep,
Yeah, no, when I got to walk in and listen to the videos, and it was really nice. Like, you would honestly think that it's professional,
yep,
100% professional.
yep,
You wouldn't see a difference from going to any of the other, like, the container miners that I walked through at Mining Disrupt. They all had the kind of similar feel, but like they had what worked for them too. Like,
yep,
yours has kind of like the side peeled up with like the
yep,
awning.
yep,
I really like that
yep,
actually.
yep.
And what's the reason for that?
So I, saw in a video someone built an awning over the top of the
Yeah, yeah,
containers. The containers inside and the awning's just built as a standalone above it. And so my partner's like, why don't we're gonna cut the sides off anyway. Why don't we just use that as the awning? I'm like, well, if you can do that, there's nothing wrong there. And so he did that, and he's got I don't know, some brackets or whatever, so it flips up and it's stuck there in spot, but in position. But that's keep the wind off, keep the rain and snow and everything else. We've had thunderstorm warnings. We've had lots of heavy rain and wind. We've been doing very good. And so, it's turned out very well. We've had a lot less issues than I would have expected after 8 months going through the end of summer and all of winter. We have had less issues than I would have expected. So we're very happy. And if we redid it, my business partner already has a couple tweaks we're going to do, but it's not going to change much. The overall design is going to be pretty similar. So
I'm curious. You gotta let me know
yeah,
when that new stuff comes out, if you guys end
yeah.
up going that route.
Yeah, it's pretty early. That's the end game, and that's where we want to be. But like I said, we have spots picked out. I have a meeting with someone here that is actually a spot that would be perfect. And so it's going to happen. It's just we're not forcing it. We don't need to do it now. We don't need to move now. So we're just feeling stuff out, kind of
Yeah.
seeing what options are there. But yeah, when it happens, I have my own YouTube channel. I'll have videos. I'll post it and like. Yeah, so everyone get to see it. You'll get to see the build like I did.
Right.
Other videos of the build in this one.
100%, which is why I even contacted him in the first place, is because like I saw that he was putting in work and he was doing his things, he was doing his YouTube videos, and like you had this like sense of like, okay, like this is where my stuff is actually going to be. And sure enough, doesn't look anything different from the videos. He talks the same, so it's not an on camera gimmick or anything like that you have to worry about these days, unfortunately.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
kind of like you said, you're kind of going nice and slow and steady and feeling it out. Where do you think our market is going for miners? If obviously you mine yourself, so I can ask you that question. So it's not biased because you do mine yourself.
Yep. Oh, be honest, I could tell you one way or I could tell you the other way, and they're both could be right. And that's the sad part. We don't know. It's so much different than it has been the last three bull cycles, bull runs. So it's like, I don't know. Everyone was pretty happy after November and December, after Trump, was elected. But then we've been going down since, and that's just the market, every market in general, not just crypto.
Yeah.
And so it's like, where are we going to be at 6 months or a year? We're going to be up? I hope so. That'd be great for everybody. Are we going to? I don't know. Crypto, the Bitcoin's fine, but the hash rate keeps going up. Litecoin's fine, but the hash rate keeps going up. And so it needs to have, the hash rate's always going to keep going up. So you need the price to outpace the hash rate for mining.
Or cheaper electricity. But
yeah,
that's the thing too, is like we have a new kind of roadblock potentially that has happened for some miners, including myself. I actually, so for those of you who don't know, Bitmain sponsored one of the miners that I put there. So I brought two there. They sponsored one of them to be there for a review. Um, what ended up happening was a long time of waiting because of just tariffs and customs and
Mhm.
other things like that, which was extremely unfortunate. And we're kind of riding the line that we're going to see some new tariffs here, like next couple weeks. Like
Yeah, I think
how?
isn't it tomorrow? Isn't tomorrow the special day?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Either
Yeah,
the second or the third, one of the two,
yeah, yep, yeah.
of April. So this is
Sorry,
recorded
sorry. Yep.
April. April. We're April Fools right now.
Yeah,
Gosh.
yep.
Um, but yeah. So have you had other people and other clients that have had those problems with their, like, dealing with customs, or just like,
Yep.
what do you think is gonna happen in terms of, I guess what I'm rambling now, but what I'm trying to say is, where do you think miners will be made in America? Do you think they have to be made in America? Do you think that the prices with customs and tariffs will play a huge effect into what you're going to see in the hosting industry and people getting into it? And then kind of to follow up on that, like, if somebody wants to get into mining today, which I would say stick to Bitcoin or Litecoin at the moment,
Hmm. Yep.
what would you do and what would you say? And like, what are the miners maybe you're looking at, or you'd say to your clients, like, hey, maybe check out this one?
Yeah. So I think overall the price of the miners, the tariff problems I've been seeing isn't drastic. It's not like they're buying a $5,000 Bitcoin miner and they have to pay $2,000 worth in tariffs. It's more like a couple $100. It's a smaller percentage. So I'm seeing that. So usually, what the price you see, no matter from any website, any vendor, before it used to be the price to the door. Now add on a couple $100
Yeah.
for tariffs and imports. And so once I think they'll kind of figure that out, but the price of the machines is not going to go down. It's going to stay the same or get a little bit more expensive once you add on them tariffs and imports. Um, I think now for miners, I agree with you 100%. Stick with Bitcoin, stick with Litecoin. I am pretty excited about AlphaPex. That's kind of a
Hmm.
new Litecoin. They just announced the
Yeah.
GG2,
Yeah.
and from the price, looks pretty dang competitive. And I have a couple hosting a couple AlphaPex. They seem pretty good. So if I was going Litecoin, it comes down to just numbers, and Bitmain's fine, but AlphaPex that you can repair in the U.S. There's other benefits there that it should be something to be thought of. Not saying to go with it, but
Hmm.
just keep that as one of your option. And for Bitcoin miners, I personally can only host Bitmains, so I don't even look at the What's miners. So Bitmain has the
Okay.
S20, the S21, the S21 Pro, Pro Plus, and then the XP. Now, I will say, don't get the S21 because it has the smaller 120 millimeter fans on it. The new 140 millimeter fans, the actual
Mm.
size of the miner isn't any bigger. Touch, but it's not affecting anything.
Right.
But all that extra air is a big deal. And so
Wow.
we had a blizzard 2 weeks ago, but we had actually had a record high last week. It's just welcome to Iowa. Uh, on that record
Oh, that's
high,
pretty good.
the S21 Pros and the XPs were perfect.
Okay.
They weren't a problem. So I would say get the bigger fans, one of those three models, the Pro, Pro Plus, or the XP,
Mhm.
and just run the numbers and kind of go from there. Because I think there's no reason not to do it. So
Yeah. Were you ever running any like L7s at all
no,
at one point?
I have a bunch in my container. I'm hosting for people. I have 30, give or take.
Okay.
Quite a bit of L7s. And then I personally have not. I had an L3 plus as a heater in my
Mhm.
office at the container, but
Okay.
that no. I haven't personally ran an L7.
Got you. My question is, because you've hosted them,
Yes.
and I haven't ran an L7 in years now, actually.
Yep.
Well, not years, but it's been a bit, right? So I'm out of
Yep.
touch with the L7s.
Yep.
Would you say, from reliability standpoint of just like, being online,
Yep.
how do you compare the L7 to the L9? Since this is kind of going to be, I'm sharing my experience with an L9
Yep.
for this video in
Yep.
general. So where do you see the advancements from an L7 to an L9,
Yep.
or do you not like be honest here? Like,
Yeah. So I
where do you
actually
think you
have a
go?
couple issues with an L9 right now with a
Okay.
three different L9s.
Wow, I must have got lucky or something.
Yeah, I'm hosting
Jeez.
like 25 L9s though. I'm hosting quite a
Okay.
bit, but I have an issue with three of them. And so the L7s, to be honest, I had an issue on the really hot day. I had an issue with two of them. The problem is the fans were set at 50%. Not me, but they got sent from a
The
client to
client.
me.
Okay, okay.
Yep. And so
Huh.
on the hot day, 50% just wasn't enough. So
yeah.
I've found that issue, fixed it, but we haven't had a hot day to test it again. So the other
Right.
30 L9 or L7s, 30 L7s I had, no issues. So it's just those two. So I'm thinking once I fix the fan issue, that'll be fine.
So then,
yeah.
on the L9s, then what
Yep.
have you seen has been like a bottleneck or the issue?
The issue's been hashboard. It's the hashboard's they're a little sensitive, and so I had they don't like getting turned on and off, and they don't, and for whatever reason, one of them just quit. One of the hashboards just quit on a miner that was running for a month straight, no issues, nothing weird going on. So they're a little more finicky, and L9s you cannot get the hashboard repaired right now. So then that's a problem if you have
Interesting.
yeah. So that's
Okay,
I actually
so
found that out today. So
there's some good, honest opinions there.
Yeah.
Because like I got sent an L9,
Oh.
and I have other L9s. I haven't had problems with any of my L9s
Yep.
that I have. So
Yep.
not just the ones that I have at your place, but the ones that I've hosted at elsewhere.
Yep.
Besides the ones and the stuff that got damaged in the recent ice storm that we had, which oh my gosh, I'm frustrated about that.
Yep.
But I haven't had any problems, but that's really good to know because when you're making a decision, like I'm assuming people that are going to be watching this, I'm just going to make an assumption, might not have a miner, or they're
Yep.
looking into getting like potentially an L9 or an
Yep.
L7.
Yep.
So they're both really decent still, and
They are.
I know you
They are.
mentioned. I know you mentioned Alphaplex.
Mhm.
They have some. How have those been in reliability?
I don't have as many, so it's not as I have a bunch to test against. So the three I have been fine. So but yes, I have 3 L9s with an issue, but I'm hosting 25, 30 of them, so I have quite a few of them. So no matter what miner you have, you're going to have a percentage that aren't good. And is that percentage more or less than the competition's what really comes down to? So so no, the Alphapex has been fine. The L7s have been good. But keep in mind when you're buying an L7 now, it's probably not new, and that model's 3 years old.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
So many different ways to play the game, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Ah.
Not the L7's profitable, and if you would have bought it, I don't know, what was it, 8 months ago? That when they were $3,000 a piece.
Oh yeah.
You would have raked it in there for a good 6 months. So
I sold my L7s. I sold my L7s to get L9s. So that was just my play. That's how that worked. But
yeah.
oh well.
So no matter what machine, if you get a top of the line quality one, you should be fine. There's always going to be that percentage, but most of the time you work out just fine. Especially, it's better than buying like the K Pros like I bought. Those aren't really profitable right now, at all. And so if I would have bought like the brand new S21s that were out at the same time, I would be making more money. But they're also twice as much. So it kind of depends. So
yeah, man. All right. Well, I mean that's basically all we have for today. It's basically covered everything that we need to cover. Thank you.
More.
and more. So yeah, no, thank you for hosting for me and being all good with that. I'm excited. I'll probably shoot you another pool to test too, just for another thing. So yeah, if you guys need to change pools, you literally just send them a message and they hop right on it. So
I do.
Yeah, no,
just me.
Yep. Thank you for your time.
Yep.
And check out his YouTube content if you want to see kind of how it works. Otherwise, get in contact with him. What's your handle?
Yes.
Get in contact with you.
So my email is the easiest. contact@iowamining.io. So it's all one word.
Okay. So you see Iowa Mining in the name tag right there. That's how you spell it. And then at what?
At contact@iowamining.io.
There you go. So there you are. Well, thank you guys for watching. Thank you again for being here and answering these questions.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. We'll wrap it up. Catch you guys later.